In this video, we're going to look at creating different visit types. We'll look at creating a one-time, a regular and a multiple type of visit. First thing I'm going to do is go in and find my client schedule. So I'm doing a Control F search for Mr. Ryan Gosling. And looking at his schedule. From the client schedule, if we have a look at the very top of the page here, on our toolbar, we have a few different options to add visit types. A one-time visit is one of the only visit types available to our general nursing pool. They can create a one-time visit or a quick visit. We won't be looking at quick visits today. However, quick visits are generally used for indirect care or to record something that's happened after the fact, like documentation, that type of thing. All of these menu options are also available. If we are to right-click on a client schedule, we receive the same options. So whether you use the buttons at the top or if you use the menu options at the side, you will get the same outcome. Let's go ahead and create a one-time visit for Ryan. In the visit screen, there are a few areas that we do need to fill in. If I was creating a one-time unfilled visit for Ryan today, I would need to go into this screen, and the very first thing that we must fill in is the client's episode or funding information. There is a drop-down box in every visit screen, and this allows us to select any episodes or funders that the client already has attached to their file. Now, you will not be able to progress past this visit screen if there is no episode selected. So it is very important that the client has an active episode to book to. Working our way around the screen, we have a date drop-down box here. Now, the date will be showing the current date that you have highlighted. So if I just move this down a little bit, we can see that Thursday the 21st is currently highlighted on my schedule. I can, even though that's been pre-selected, I can go in and change the date if necessary. So I could make this for tomorrow, for example. The start time of the visit, or in this screen, is generally reflective of the start time of the visit window. So if we say that Ryan requires a visit tomorrow at 2 p.m, or he has a visit window between 2 and 4, the start time of the visit is going to be 2 or 1400 in this instance. Now, the stop time should reflect the duration of the visit. If I received a service plan that outlined a visit window between 2 and 4 and they expected the care to take 30 minutes, then my stop time in this instance is going to be 14:30. And what you'll notice is when I tabbed across here, just down below where it says duration, it's showing the 30-minute duration. The shift code is generally reflective of the client's lat area. There are some exceptions. The lat area is suitable for our Monday to Friday business hour visits. If I have a look here, I can see that Ryan is in Workgroup 5, lat 16A. So if I was to start typing in 16A here, it's going to come up on my drop-down list. But what you will notice is that there are a few different other descriptions coming up. I would use a different code if this visit was for a CCA visit, for example, so community care. That would have a CCA code. If it was, you can see there's planned leave or care manager, or if it was an evening work group visit. But I'll go ahead with 16A for now. Now, the pattern of the visit, we are aware that it is a one-time visit because we selected the one-time option when we first opened this visit. So this visit will not repeat at all. It will happen today, great for additional visits that nurses might want to schedule or call outs, that sort of thing. So it's just going to happen today and it will never repeat on the schedule. There is a bill service type. Now, this bill service type reflects the role or the skills and qualifications of the person who's actually attending the visits. The billing service type drop-down list that you will have available will depend on the episode that the visit is under. So in this instance, Ryan is covered by DVA clinical nursing. So the code for his RN home visit is going to be under an asterisk. So if I start typing in my asterisk and an R, I can see here I've got a few different codes, and I will go with the RNCC, so registered nurse visit. Now, there is a billing code guide available for you on your LibGuides area, and it's probably well worth printing out if you don't have a copy of that already. In this options area where it says priority code, and this is where I can highlight the importance of the visit. Is it an admission visit? Are there 2 people attending? Is it a critical needs, high, low? And in this instance, I'll go with critical. We have the option to make the visit an essential service. And if it's an essential service, it means that the visit must be performed at the time that we have specified, and it cannot be moved for any reason. Essential service is relevant for things like essential medications. It might be that you have an insulin-dependent diabetic patient who needs to have their insulin at a certain time of day. And of course, we can't miss that visit. So if you wanted to mark it as an essential service, it's just as simple as ticking the essential service box. Down below here where it says comments, this is a free text area, and we can relay any important information about the visit. Bearing in mind that the visit screen itself is generally only viewed probably upon starting the visit. Some nurses may view this information first thing in the morning. It's not the best area to put in additional actions. For example, if we wanted the nurse to call 30 minutes before she visits the client, he or she visits the client, to advise them that she's coming, it might be because they need to put away animals or something like that. If it's saying calling 30 minutes before and they're not opening this information until they're actually at the residence, then they would have missed that opportunity. So something that may be important, I could put in my visit window, for example. Just as a side note, if you do have something like the client requires a phone call 30 minutes before, you could actually create that as an O4 message. So I'm just popping my visit window in there. Now, after the general tab, we have a couple of more tabs that we can that are relevant to the visit. The care plan tab has the activities that we expect to be completed within the visit. So what I found, we've just opened up a brand new visit and we've selected the episode and put in the information. And this care plan tab has automatically filled based on the information that's associated with the client's episode or funding information. So certainly if all of these items were relevant for the visit, we could leave them as they were. We also have the option to go in and add, delete, and manage those care plan activities within the visit. It's just a matter of selecting the correct table and then using the arrows. Probably the single arrow is best to apply different care plan activities to the visit. I'm going to keep the care plan activities in place, and we'll say that this is the care that Ryan requires for the visit. Service requirements. Again, this is another area that can come in from the client's funding information or their episode. A service requirement, I'll show you some of the options there, but it's where we have specified that we need particular training. So the visiting nurse requires a particular type of training to complete the role. A client may have specified that they require a female or a male only, or we may need a security escort or interpreter. So there's a few different options that we can add in here. And again, we've got the double and single arrow structure that we can use to actually mark this information on the visit. If I needed an RN only, I could select that, move that across, close, and then that option is actually fixed to this visit. Now I'm going to leave this visit as unfilled and let it go through to the client's planner. That means that the placeholder for the visit will be sitting on the client's schedule. We know this visit needs to be attended, but we may not know who has capacity to attend the visit as yet. So if I say OK at this point, it's asking me if I want to save changes, and it's going to our conflict checking screen. Now in this instance, there has been no conflict found. If I have a look at the information highlighted in blue here, it's telling me that the visit is for the 22nd of December between 2 and 2:30. It is an unfilled visit. It hasn't been allocated to an employee. There are no conflicts found, and it's saying that if we don't change the action, it's going to book to the client, and then it's going to send it through to the unfilled visit planner. And in this instance, it's saying that it's going through to the unfilled work group 2. That's telling me that's lat 4 to 6. So I have got that set up as my default planner. It's my default, but it's not necessarily suitable for the client. We know that our client is in work group 5. So if I just go into the drop-down box here, I can see the list of the planners that are available. And unfilled work group 5 is showing here with lats 15 to 17. My client being in 16A, this is the right planner to select for the client. There's a button here that says Planner All, and I'm going to press that button, and when I do, it is going to change the action to go to the correct planner. So I'll press Planner All, and now I can see it's switched to East Work Group 5. If I say OK at this point, the visit will be saved to the client's file, and I can see it sitting here on Friday the 22nd. And it also has been duplicated in the planner, waiting to be attended by the scheduler. At a glance, I can tell this is an unfilled visit. It does say that on my screen, but also if I go down to the bottom left-hand side of the screen, I can see this legend here, and it tells me what the different colours or fonts mean. And in this instance, it says that red has gone through to a planner. So that's a one-time visit. It appears once, it hasn't replicated at all, and it's quite an easy process. We also have the option of a regular visit. And let's have a look at this visit screen. It is quite similar. A regular visit is useful if we have a pattern of a visit. It might be that Ryan requires a visit every week on a Monday. Rather than putting in several one-time visits, which could be quite laborious, I can go into my regular visit screen and set up a visit pattern. So these fields here, they are the same as they are as a one-time visit. I still need to put in my episode. To create the pattern, I need my start and stop time. Oops. I can select the starting date for the pattern. So if I'm starting on Monday the 25th, oh, it's Christmas Day. The shift code, again, it's reflecting the lat information of the client. Now in this instance, I have an expire after option. So if I was to receive a service plan that said we require weekly visits on a Monday for the next 4 weeks, I could actually put an end date in here. And if I have a look at this drop-down box here, it brings up a calendar, which makes it easy for me to scroll through and select the correct date. So let's go ahead and we will make this a 4 weekly. So we're 21st, 25th, 1st, oops. Go into Jan. And we'll end this pattern on the 15th of January. My duration has pre-filled from my start and stop time. I've got my visit priority codes that I can select again. I can mark whether or not it's an essential service. I need to put in my bill service type to reflect the staff member who is attending. And I can put in any visit comments that are required. Now, it may be that this particular visit is not reflective of the care plan information that we already have associated with the client. So if I go into the Add Delete option here, I'm going to go in and select the correct visit information. So let's have a look here. Might go in and make this an educational visit. The service requirement tabs, I can again specify whether there is a particular service requirement or a particular skill that the person attending needs to have. So in this instance, I am going to make it an RN only visit. Okay, I've got my pattern here showing weekly every 1 week. When I press OK, this is going to create visits starting on Monday the 25th for the next 4 weeks, expiring on the 15th of the 1st for this client. Let's go ahead and press OK. It's confirming my changes and into my conflict checking screen. So I can see that I have the 4 visits created. Again, they have gone through to my unfilled visit planner. So I'm going to change that planner to reflect the client's lat area. I'll press Planner All to update the planner that these are going to. And I'll say OK. And this is going to create 4 visits for my client. So I can see on the 4 consecutive Mondays, I have got my unfilled visits showing in the screen. So the regular is quite easy to create a regular visit pattern. We do have a third option, and that is for a multiple visit. Now this screen looks a little bit different, but it is quite beneficial if we are creating more than one pattern at a time. The episode information, again, it's mandatory for any client visit. So I'll put in his episode. I've got a visit date and an expire after option again, a priority code option. I've still got my essential service tick. I can put in my bill service type. But this time, instead of showing a visit pattern here or the start and stop time of the visit, I've got this multiple visits button. Let's have a look at what happens when we press onto that button. So this has opened up our multiple visit screen. At the top of the screen, I can see some basic information for the client. I've got a start date showing. And as a default, it's telling me that it's a 7-day pattern. So starting on Friday and going through until Thursday. Now I can increase or decrease this pattern if required. So it might be that I've got a pattern that goes every 14 days. I've increased that to 14 days. I'll just wait for the screen to catch up. Then I have the ability in this screen here to go and select the pattern. So it might be that Ryan requires a visit on Friday, and then on the following week, a visit on a Saturday. And this is to repeat every 2 weeks. You could do any manner of patterns, and again, it can go right up to 28 days. Now, the other benefit of this screen is the fact that we can update the visit information all at once. So if it's the same time that Ryan requires a visit on the Friday and Saturday, I can go in and put that start time in. So let's make it 11 until 11:30. So exactly the same way as we were doing before. I've got my shift code area here. We know the area that Ryan's in. So lat 16A. And I've got the option to, at the top here, copy the visit information from my first selected day, day 1, to all check days. So I could have multiple visits selected here or days selected, and when I press copy, that information is going to transfer across. I'm going to validate this visit information. Always a good sign. And if I close, I've now created the multiple visit pattern. So back to my visit screen. Again, we have our care plan information, service requirements. This time when I say OK, back to the conflict checking screen, and it is going to create quite a few visits. Just wait for that screen to update. Beautiful. Okay. Now we've got a few things coming up here. It's telling me that there are conflicts. In fact, it's found 7 conflicts. Let's have a look at the things that we can manage. So we've got our planner here. Currently, all of the visits are showing under the planners. I'm going to select Ryan's Correct Planner. What I am going to do is have a look at the type of conflicts that are showing up. So I've got a display conflicts on tick box here. And I'm going to have a look at all of the conflicts. So the conflicts that are showing for Ryan, when I've ticked onto that, I've got a few options. It's the drop-down box will show me any conflicts that are showing for the client, and in this instance it is just client double booked. So I can choose whether I want to send these to a planner. I could edit the visits. There's a few different things that I can do here. I am going to update the planner. I'll press planner all. So they're going through to the correct planner, but I can make a decision based on those. The client's double booked. It could be that I am deliberately double booking the client, or it may be that I've made an error and need to change my mind here. But in this instance, I'm just going to go ahead and double book the client. Now, if I remove that display conflicts tick box and go back to my original screen, I can see that some of my visits are still going through to the incorrect planner. So I'll planner all again, update them all to East Work Group 5 and select OK. So this is now confirming all of my visits, and they have added to the client schedule, and we can see the pattern is showing on the calendar here. So that's one time, regular and multiple visits. Different reasons for using all, but probably the best reason to use them is just to save yourself some time.